Hey guys, welcome to another lesson. We've finished one section, or the second section of the GED Math. So it's now taking us to the practice section, decimals and fractions practice questions. There's, I think, about 4 pages to this section here. Just double checking, see if that is correct. Yeah, I think about 4 pages. I'm just going to do 1 page at a time because some of these pages do take a little bit of time. Again, also what's pretty important to know is decimal and fraction equivalencies. So there's a chart for that on lesson 11. Okay, the first page that I show has the chart there. It's kind of shaded in a gray color. And that'll help you to kind of off the top of your head get some of these decimal and fraction questions. Okay, so let's start with numero uno. That's number 1 in Spanish. Thanks for sticking with the Spanish lesson with me. Just joking. Okay, so a wooden flooring. This is number 1. So it says you may use a calculator here, which is why I brought the calculator up, because that will help us to go faster. Okay, a wooden flooring. A wooden flooring strip is 20.5 or 20.5 inches long. If you cut off 4 3/4 inches from one end, what will be the new length of the strip in inches? So this is, subtraction here, because if you remove this amount, cut off 4 3/4 off of this amount, it says what will be the new length. So I'm going to try this on calculator first. If it doesn't work, then we can just go ahead and work out the problem. 20.5 minus 4.25. 16 1/4. Well, I know that's not the answer. I want to try that one more time. I've never actually done this on the calculator before. So, did I say 0.25? I actually meant, that's probably where I went wrong. So half is 50. I'm not sure if I did that, or 0.25 last time. Minus 4 point, okay, yeah. I got the numbers kind of backwards. So, yes, that is correct. So the reason that I said like this here, you may be wondering, why did I do 20.5 or 4.75? It's because in that fraction and decimal equivalency chart, it'll show you that 0.5 always means half. 3/4 is equivalent to 0.75. Okay, whereas half is equivalent to 0.50, which, is why I put 0.5, because any zeros after the decimal that are all the way to the right, the last zero all the way to the right, doesn't need to stay there, because it's a placeholder really, and doesn't add or subtract from the value at all. So if you see here 5.75, if you know your equivalency chart, the 0.75, you will know that is 15 3/4. Okay, so if it was 1/4, it would be 0.25. If it was 2/4, which this is the same as a quarter. Let me write the equivalent here. Equals 1/4. Okay, so like if you take $1, for example, you give somebody 25 cents, it takes 4 quarters to make $1, so you're giving them 1/4 or 1/4 of the dollar. Okay, 0.5 would be 50. which would be 2/4. You really don't need this 0 here because any zeros to the right of this, or not to the right but at the very end, are not necessary. If you had another number here, then it would be necessary to keep the 0 because this is a placeholder for this number here, which does change the value of the total number. Okay, so that's why you'll see usually this written as 0.5, which is equal to 2/4. Okay, and I shouldn't actually be going through all this with you guys because I've already gone through showing you the equivalency chart, and you should have memorized this already, but just to set the stage here. So 0.75 is 3/4 because that's 3/4, which is 3/4 of a dollar. And then the next one would just be a whole number, no point. Okay, it would just be the number 1. Okay, because if you add one more quarter, then it makes a whole. Okay, because 4/4 is a whole. Same as 4/4 out of, 4/4 equals 1 whole dollar. So there is your answer, 15 3/4. Okay, so where's that calculator? Now, a box of cereal costs $4.69. The package label says that the box contains 19 servings. What is the cost of one serving to the nearest cent? So this is important. This says to the nearest cent usually doesn't tells you it's not going to be an exact number, but you have to bring it to at least the closest number that's given here. So let's see. We have how many? Okay, $4.69. How much does each serving cost if there's 19 servings? So we need to divide this by 19. And we see that each serving will be 24 cents. Okay, now there's two ways to, since it gives you a number here already, and it's asking you which one's it's nearest to. So 24 is nearest to 25, so we know that B is your answer here. Okay, how much would a computer system cost if it is priced as shown below? So you pay $200 down and make 12 payments of 98.85. Okay, so let's see that 98.85, basically over a year. 98.85 times 12, there's 12 months in a year, equals $1,186.20. Okay, imagine there being a 0 here, but like I said, to the right, all the way to the right, you can erase the 0 because it doesn't mean anything. So then we also have to add the 200 that you initially paid down. Okay, so that comes up to $1,386.20. Okay, 13. So if you erase this 0 here on the after 2, it still doesn't change the value of it. Okay, because 0 equals 0. So, but that's letting us know that we're kind of doing it out of a dollar. Okay, so 1386.20. C is your answer. Okay, unleaded gasoline sells for $2.86, or 87, I guess, if you round this off. Excuse me. So that's per gallon. How much would 10.5 gallons cost? Round your answer to the nearest cent. So we know that half is equal to 0.5, okay? Because we can't times a fraction by a decimal number. They either have to both be fractions or fractions or both decimal numbers. Okay, so let's see. 10.5 times 2.869. Okay, so let's see, $30.12. Okay, since we are doing dollars here, we know we always need to round off to the nearest, basically nearest hundredth place here. Okay, so it's 30.12. C is your answer. Okay, any ones further down? Nope. Number 5. 3 packages weigh 1.5 pounds. 3 packages weigh 1.5 pounds, 4 3/4 pounds, and 2 3/10 pounds. What is the average weight in pounds of the packages? Okay. So, I mean, I could change these around here. This would be 2.3. This would be 1.5. This is 1.5. And this would be 4.75. Okay, and then you can just add those together, but for variety's sake, we will do this one on paper. Okay, so 1.5, and I am writing with my mouse here, so not the best quality writing skills here. So if you see my numbers start to look weird, that's why. 3/4, 2 and 3/10. Okay, so let's combine the weights. So when you're dealing with fractions, excuse me, guys, I'm yawning. Guess I didn't drink my coffee today. Okay, so when you're dealing with addition or subtraction, the denominators need to be the same, okay? So we need to find which number either goes into the highest number here, or what is the lowest number that all of these denominators can go into evenly. So if this was 10 was 8, that would be nice because we know 4 goes into 8 and 2 goes into 8. So we would leave this the same, just change those, blah, blah, blah. And the numerators to the proportion that we change the denominators. But since they don't go into 10 evenly, not both of them at least, we need to find a number that all three of them do. That number is 20 because 10 goes into 22 times, okay? Which means, since we had to, 10 goes in 22 times. So then we also have to go 3 times 2, 6. Okay. Since 4 goes into 25 times, we also have to times the 3 by 5, 15. So really, guys, we're not changing the actual portions here. We're just increasing the size of them so that we can do this mathematical problem. 2 goes into 20 10 times, so we have to times the 1 by 10. Okay, so let's add these bad boys up. Let me see, let me just cross these out for the sake of it. We'll put an addition there. So 10 plus 15 is 25. Plus 6 is 31, so we'll do 31 over 20. Okay. Then we have 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Okay. Now, this is an improper fraction, so we need to reduce it. We know that there 20 goes into 30 one time, so we add a 1 to the 7, and we make it an 8. Now we have 11 over 20. Okay, and let's go back to see what the question was. So, 3 packages weigh 1.5 pounds, blah, blah, blah. So we added these. What is the average weight in pounds of the packages? Hint, add the weight, then divide the number of packages. Okay, so as you can see here, the answers are decimals. So we need to change this into decimals as well. We could do just on our calculator. We could write 11 divided by 20, and that would give us the answer. But just show you guys how to do this. So does 20 go into 11? No, so we'll put a decimal point here. Add a 0. Does 20 go into 110? Yes, it does. 5 times. 5 times 20 is 100. Okay, 110 minus 100 we know is 10. Does 20 go into 10? It does not. So we add a 0 here, then we bring it down. We'll bring it down here. So then, does 20 go into 100? Yes, it does. It goes in 5 times. Okay, 5 times 20 is 100. Okay, that problem is resolved because it has terminated. 0 left. So that's our answer. We also need to, of course, bring the decimal point over. So in decimal form, this is our answer, 8.55. It's not finalized yet, though. Okay. Because now we have to do, when you're trying to find the average, you have to divide by the amount of numbers that you got that total number with. And with us, it was 3 different numbers, 1.5, 4 3/4, and 2 3/10. Okay, so that's number 5, right? Yeah. Okay, so now we need to do 855 divided by 3. Again, since we're doing this on paper, it'd be easy to do in our calculator. But since we're doing it on paper, 855, see how to set this bad boy up. 855 divided by 3. 3 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Which gives us 8 minus 6 is 2. Is 3 going to 2? No, it doesn't. So bring down the 5. 3 goes into 25 8 times, because 3 times 8 is 24. Okay. So 25 minus 24 is 1. Does 3 go into 1? No, it does not. So bring down this 5 here. 3 go into 5? Yes, it does. 15 times. Does 3 go into 15? Yes, 5 times. So bring up the 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Let me make this a little neater. Well, never mind. So 15 minus 15 is 0. So that's terminated. No remainders. Okay. It looks like 8, but I meant to put a 0 there. So bring up the, it's also good practice to bring up this decimal just in the beginning there. So let's look. Is that an option, 285? Yes, it is. CB over here, that is your answer. So the average weight per package is 285. You may be asking, well, no, it's not the average weight because this one's 4 pounds, this one's 1 pound. I'm just doing the whole numbers. And this one is 2 pounds, more or less. But when you're doing averages, there's no one answer that would be perfectly correct. You just need to take the combined weight and divide them by the amount of the numbers you had to use. In this case is 3 because 1, 2, 3. So you divide the total by 3 to get your average. Okay, so all this, see how long that took, guys? This was all of this stuff here was just for that one question. So this is kind of tedious. It's helpful to, yeah, so that's why they allow you to use a calculator. Okay, next question is very simple. Or maybe not, I don't know. Gina is paid $8 an hour. If she earned $258 in 1 week, how many hours did she work? So we basically need to, that's number 6 there. We basically need to divide 258 by, let's see where my calculator is, 258 by 8. So she made $258. Okay. And let me see. She gets $8 an hour. 258 divided by 8 equals. So it shows that she worked 32.25 hours. So remember, 0.25 is a quarter, which equals 1/4. Think of it like that. A quarter is 1/4 of a dollar. So we have the answer 32 and 1/4. There's your answer, C. Okay, now let's see. Number 7, a developer plans to build homes on 20.5 acres. Okay, she estimates that 6 1/4 acres will be used for roads. The remaining land will be divided into 1/4 acre lots. How many lots can the division include? The subdivision include, sorry. Okay, so let's do this. We need to minus this since out of 20.5, 6 1/4 is going to be used for roads. We need to remove that. So 20.5 we know is 20.5. Okay. Minus 6 1/4 is 6.25. Oh, did I put 24? Stupid. Okay, 20.5 minus 6.25. 20. Let's try that again. 20.5 minus 6.25 equals 14.25. Okay, which we know 25 is 1/4. 14.25 is 14 and 1/4. Okay. Or 14.25, which was on the calculator. 14.25. So then we need to divide 1/4, which we know is 0.25. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to do this on the calculator. So 14, didn't need to erase that. 0.25 minus, no, divided by 0.25 equals 57. So 57 is your answer, B, okay? Now, last but not least, a school buys 1,000 whiteboard markers. Below is the price for each marker, price per marker for 2 brands. How much did the school save by buying brand A instead of brand B? Brand A is 27 cents. Okay, so let's see. And brand B is 36 cents. So we need to find the totals. If they would have bought 1,000 brand A's and 1,000 brand B's, so 0.27 times each one is 0.27, and we need 1,000 of them. So times 1,000 equals 270. Okay. Now, same thing with 0.36 for brand B times 1,000, 360. So how much money did they save buying the cheaper ones? Well, let's subtract the cheaper ones from the more expensive ones. Brand B was 360. Okay. Brand A was 270. So let's see. We borrow from here. Make this a 16, but we need to borrow for the 0 here, so make this a 15 and 10. So 10 minus 0. Sorry guys, I actually didn't need to borrow for that, so not even, I should have started from the right, but I'm not paying attention obviously. So 3, 6, 0. Okay, so I'll start from the right. 0 minus 0 is 0. 6 minus 7 does not work, so we cross the 3 out and borrow from there. Makes it 16 and changes to a 2. So 16 minus 7 is 16 minus 8 is 8, so this would be 9. Okay. 2 minus 2 is 0, so we won't even put that down. So we saved $90. Let's see. Yep, D over here, $90. Cool. So in case you're wondering, you know, well, why didn't we write all of them down so that we could see how to work all of them out on paper? This is more about, with story problems, half the problem is just figuring out, like, do I multiply, do I divide, do I, add, subtract. So the more you do these, the more you'll kind of just get used to it, the wording and stuff. So it was more about that, since the last previous lessons we learned how to work all of these out on paper. Okay. Anyways, thank you for your time. If you appreciated it, please like and subscribe, share with a friend. I'm trying to actually get to 1,000 subscribers to get to the next tier of YouTube. So if you could help me out with that, that would be cool. Thank you. Bye-bye.